Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are training 61 minutes of chess. And yeah, today is a very good day, and I would please request a round of applause for me, because this is the first day in the longest I can remember where I've had good rest, eaten 3 nutritious meals in a day, and exercised all in one day while, having a job and having a life. So, pretty incredible feat. Probably the first time in like 5 years that this has actually been achieved. And I actually feel good. So, who would have guessed actually, maintaining the basics actually has an effect on your health. Crazy news. Life is good. And we are going to do some more training. Welcome fast to the stream. Welcome, Sapsara. I hope this indeed becomes a treat for you, and we can keep up the positivity, and hopefully these exercises won't be too awful. Sapsara, I do not give a damn about Clash of Clans. Like, I could not care less. I'm sorry. Let's begin. Okay. So we've got Tau to beat Baikovsky. I mean, immediate reaction is like, can we not just win with this fork? So if we take, I guess they're not obliged to recapture. But then what are they actually threatening? Like we are not starting. We are not starting with a rant. I mean, if this is the answer, it's an absolute joke. Because I mean, what's even the problem? Like, if they play Rook C7, we can always come back and defend. If they try and give this fork, we can take with the bishop, so it's fine. So why are we not doing this? I swear to God, if this is the answer, I mean, how can you put this in the same section as bishop C1? This would be another one to add to the list. I haven't had time to leave that salty review yet. I mean, just rook back, right? It's completely fine. I don't understand. Actual joke of a course. Unbelievable course. And not knight e5. Well, yeah, not knight e5 because you just blunder a piece. What is this course? What is this course? This course is garbage. Actually so bad. Okay, let's hope for something better. Okay, queen rook rook, bishop bishop knight against queen rook rook, bishop bishop knight knight. So black's got an extra knight. Okay, so what can we understand about this position? We've got some X-ray pressure on d8, so potentially knight e5 looks tempting. Queen is exposed on c3, bishop is exposed on f4. Bishop f7 is in the air. Black is like severely underdeveloped. We have some back rank issues, but we do have 2 rooks on the back rank, so probably okay. Okay, so let's start calculating bishop f7. If king takes, then knight check. King e8 is forced. Go queen e6. Yeah, not completely clear. So let me get my actual candidate moves in first. So bishop f7 is one candidate. Any other checks? I mean, all of these checks look so bad. All look terrible. Okay, what about captures? We've got knight e5, we've got bishop e5. What about threats? Maybe this is a capture as well, worth considering. threats, maybe bishop here. Maybe we can hit the queen somehow as well. But let's start with this. So bishop f7, king f7, knight g5. I didn't see a follow-up after king e8. Because queen e6, I reckon they can block with the knight, which seems okay. What about captures? What about this rook takes b7? This looks quite nice. The thing is, you know, loads of pieces of ours are hanging. I also forgot to look at all the hanging pieces. I forgot to do this. So the bishop's hanging. So bishop's loose, queen is loose. Bishops are loose and being immediately attacked. So okay, rook takes b7. If the bishop takes, this is probably a bad idea. We go queen takes d7, king f8. And then queen f7. So they cannot take our rook. If they take our bishop or take this bishop, we can just go rook takes d7. And that's got to be winning. Like they can take, we take. So okay, let's imagine rook to b7, queen c4, rook d7, bishop d7, queen d7, king f8. And at the very least, like we bring this knight in. So yeah, no, rook b7 should be winning. Rook b7, what can they play like some in-between annoying move? Like bishop f8 or something. Maybe now we could go back to this bishop f7, king f7, knight g5. Although king g7 is now available. I don't know, maybe bishop f8 is quite annoying. Let's very briefly check knight e5. Because we had good vibes given that we have this mate, so... I want to interact with chat, but I'm also afraid that the answer will be given. Bishop takes... Probably bishop takes, queen takes. Not seeing it. We start bishop takes first. Does this make a difference? No. So rook b7 definitely feels good. And the only problem were these in-between moves like bishop f8. Is this the only move to solve it? I feel like it is. So if we solve this, then we can play it. I guess they're no longer protecting this as well. So maybe bishop f7, king f7, knight e5. They can't even take with the knight because the knight is pinned. King g7. King g7 is super annoying. But I guess I can go rook takes d7 with check, actually. Yeah, then it's winning. Right? Okay, so in this starting position, the material is equal, right? Or did I not even count? No, black was up a knight. Black was up a knight and a pawn. So rook takes b7, now they're just only up one knight. Bishop f8. Bishop f7, now they have two pieces for a pawn. Maybe we win back one piece. Oh, but that's not complete. So two pieces for a pawn, and then it's one piece for a pawn, and then they have a piece and a rook for a pawn, and then we win that piece, so then it's rook for a pawn. So rook for a pawn. Yeah, rook for a pawn, and then if they block or something, we could go like knight g5. So probably keep the knight a bit more flexible. King g7, and then And then like some queen e6 or something. It looks like we're just about getting this king. It does feel messy though, but I don't really see an alternative. I mean, we're down in material. We need to go for something. I think I've seen enough to play it. Unless it's bishop f7 first. Like, does the move order make a difference? And then rook b7. Nah, but rook b7, we calculated all these lines where it was winning for us. It was just this one bishop f8. Unfortunately, I can't calculate it. It just feels promising. Bishop f7, king f7. Knight g5 has to be winning. Oh, with king g7, I've even got bishop takes e5. And that forks the king and queen. Like, my queen is still being attacked, but it looks very, very good. Yeah, I'm happy to play this. That's crazy. Oh, I want to die. I mean, bishop takes f7 is literally what I said. I did at least make the observation that maybe it's better to start with bishop f7 first. The rook b7, queen c4, rook d7, and this is not winning? Right, so in this position I just said that I can take on e5 and that's good enough, but I guess the problem is it might not be good enough, given that I'm down so much material. Okay, so queen d6 first. Wow, okay. But bishop f7 is the better move. Okay, so let's see if it's rook b7 next. Still no. Okay, so I was just off the mark with this one. I mean, this was my first line I calculated. How did you guys do in this one? I've scrolled so far back. This one is just forced mate. If Michael doesn't find this, I swear to God, wait, this is forced mate. How? Where? Queen e6? Knight e7? Just a reminder, guys, this is why I don't go for, like, these ridiculous attacks. Such an unhinged way to play chess. I have no idea. I have no idea where the force mate is. Okay, let's pretend this is a new puzzle and think from here. We're, like, masses of material down. We're, like, 2 pieces down. And a pawn. Their king is very exposed. So queen e6 feels like the only try, and I dismissed it due to knight e7. But queen e6, let's first just look at king d8. If king d8, then knight f7, king c7, queen d6 is checkmate. So queen e6, knight e7 is forced, and I didn't see anything here. Oh shit, queen f7, king d8, knight e6. Oh man. Did not see knight e6. Oh, that's annoying. That's crazy. Black just resigned. I would have missed this. I just missed knight e7 as queen f7, king d8, knight e6. That's a shame. Well, this is why we're doing these puzzles. Oh, really? The GM lost the 2000 ECF? Who was the guy? Also, the GM wasn't bad. Like, he's good. He's good. Like, I need to know who the 2000 ECF is. Yeah, crazy I missed this. Deeper scan required. Yeah, just look. Yeah, just look into the checks further. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Two goated out of aspects of Frizz. Of chess. Oh man. As I said, I've had a good day today. Nothing can get me down. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Tao to win. Also, all of these puzzles by Tao are just like way harder for me. Just a stylistic clash. So okay, white to play. We got Queen, Rook, Rook, Knight, Bishop. Queen, Rook, Rook, Knight, Bishop. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. What is happening here? So we've got pressure on h7. We've also got a knight potentially attacking. We've got the bishop x-raying the king, potential sacks on e6. We have potential back rank problems, but we've got the rook coming in as well. These rooks are well placed against the hanging pawns, but maybe it's unclear. Bishop is supporting f7. Queen is offside on a3. Do we have any loose pieces? The rook is loose. Queen is loose. That's about it. Okay, so what checks do we have? We've got queen takes h7. What captures do we have? We've got bishop e6, knight f7, rook h7. What threats do we have? Maybe knight g4 is a threat to remove a knight. By the same logic, knight d7, but this looks really bad. Okay, so let's look one by one. Queen h7 looks terrible after knight takes h7. No follow up. So okay, what about the captures? Let's try rook h7. So knight h7 again. Again, no follow up. Bishop e6, pawn e6. Again, doesn't make any sense. Knight f7, bishop f7. Again, doesn't make sense. I should have also considered some x-rays in the position. There's an x-ray here. I mean, this is a really far away x-ray. And we already talked about a bishop on the king. So okay, what about this knight g4 then? Knight g4, if the knight takes it, then we've probably got an attack. Queen h7, king f8. I mean, we've already sacrificed a piece, so actually if we can win the material back, for instance, queen h8, king e7, queen g7 hitting the knight, where can the knight even go? The knight can't be defended, and if the knight goes back to f6, then we could play queen g5, and I think we're winning the knight by force. So I think that looks very good. Knight g4, what else can they try? If they try queen e7, we can take it and then take on h7. So knight g4, they take, queen h7, king f8, check, king here, queen takes. Is there any other tries for them? Or do they have to, because their f-pawn's pinned. I don't see another move for them. Because next move we're just taking the knight. So knight f6 and then just queen g5 is really nothing. Like we have 2 moves to sort this pin out, but it's very, very difficult. Okay, I'm happy. Okay, nice, let's go. King f8, queen h8, king e7, queen g7. Threats on e6 as well. Let's just double check that after knight f6, queen g5 is top move. Hey, how did people do? Okay, looks like everyone got 94, so very good job. Yeah, it feels like, you know, it's a very risk-free line. So, is queen g5 also winning? Okay, as long as it's winning, then I'm happy. It's plus 3.5, that's good enough. Like, bishop e6, sure, but this requires, like, some extra precision, which doesn't feel necessary if you can just win the knight by force. Yeah, it looks like all the moves are losing back this knight. Even a move like queen a5. I think we can just win this by force. Yeah, like rook f3 or rook h6. Yeah. Okay, great. Next one. Okay, Tao against Hammond. Okay, so we've got rook, queen, rook, bishop. Queen, rook, rook, bishop. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So black has an extra pawn. Very tempting to play rook d7 check. Just make use of this battery. But what is that to note? So, okay, potentially we've got some back rank problems. Should watch out for this one day. King is very exposed on e7. Although it is on a dark square and we only have a light square bishop, so we'd need to use these heavy pieces in some way. There is some development issues here. So we do want to try and act quickly before black finds a way to, like, unravel somehow. Some x-ray pressure here. Some tension on the pawn, although it is defended. So, okay, what candidate moves do we have? Okay, let's start with our checks. We've got rook d7 and queen b4. What about our captures? We've got bishop takes h5. And what about our threats? Maybe rook d8, but looks bad. I guess move the rook somewhere so that we've got queen d6 as a threat. So maybe like queen b3, rook b3. I guess any potential move for the rook has some potential strength to threaten queen d6. e5 could be a threat. Okay, so let's begin with our checks then. Queen b4 check, just queen takes b4, and we're cooked. Rook d7. Ooh, what about rook d7, bishop d7? Have we achieved something with this? Still doesn't look like we've got enough there. I mean, rook d7, bishop takes, queen check, king e8, takes check, king f8. The only check we have is to go back to d6, where either they can run or they can just repeat, and I'm not too happy with that. So let's stop the line there. And just, actually, let's very quickly just check queen d7 is not winning. King f8. Actually, this is the same. Okay, so in that case, let's look at our capture. Bishop takes h5. Okay, they just take back. Do we have any follow-up? Maybe we could play rook down to d8, threatening queen d6 checkmate. But what if they just play like queen c7? I guess now we could go queen b4 potentially, but then they can always go c5. So yeah, not too sure. So what about this threat of rook b3? Because if we hit the queen and they move to some trash square, then queen d6 is winning. So rook b3, they can't go a5 because of the queen. So does that mean they have to go to c7? But that seems very reasonable. I was thinking again queen b4, but then again c5. So then I was thinking, oh, what if we put the rook on c3 so that we can deal with this c5 push, but the problem is then we block the queen. If rook g3 and they go queen c7, can we do anything here? I mean, a very tame move would just be to play rook h3, because I don't think they can actually defend this pawn, right? If they push the pawn, then we can already come in with the queen. Although we actually don't have a follow-up here, the queen is still defending. So, kind of out of ideas. e5 was another candidate we had. So what if they just take it? Well, then their king is more exposed. We've got queen, queen check. That looks very promising. Extremely promising. What if they play like f6, then we go queen g7, and we win this at the very least. So e5, they can't take us. If they can't take us, then I feel like they're in big trouble. E5 has to win. Yeah, we just play e5. Okay. Yeah, so this is why it's very important you don't get too hung up on your variations when you've still got candidates to look at. So, good stuff. Not bishop takes e6, Michael? I swear that's what the engine said. Bishop takes e6 was winning in that analysis of the last position. But yeah, it looks like I think most people got in e5 in the end. Fritz even has a line e5, queen c5, ef6, king f6, rook f3, and we get a big attack. Yeah, it looks pretty free. I mean, it's also quite easy, like when you have situations like this, you don't really need to see the exact continuation of e5, you just need to know it's better than your other options. And this was one of the points in Argaard's calculation book, Excelling at Calculation. Yeah, he said like this technique of comparison is an absolute essential skill in calculation because you save so much time. Like, I didn't even need to calculate any lines. I just know that it's the best option we have. So, yeah, very nice. No variations needed. Wow, I actually agree with Axel Smith for the first time ever. Crazy stuff. Okay. Let me just check Josh's line. So Josh says his line was rook d7, bishop d7, queen d6, king e8, queen d7, king f8, and rook b3. With winning for white. Oh, wow. Rook b3 there. Because the point is you're coming in rook takes b7. Does look very good. The only downer about this line is that you did have to sack an exchange. Rook b3. I am struggling to find a good response. Yep, I don't know. Let's have a look. So e5 is +5. Rook d7 is equal. Oh, there's no rook to go on b3. Oh no. Oh no. I also just believed that there was still a rook. Oh god. Yeah, I mean, if you still have a rook on b3, let's just imagine for a second. I don't know. This obviously this is terrible, but let's imagine that we have this position. Is rook b3 winning? No, because of course in this position you don't have a rook here to cover this. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy blind spot. I wouldn't say you're the stupidest motherfucker alive, Josh, because I also messed this up too. So that makes two of us. Yeah. Crazy blind spot from both of us. But okay, at least I got e5. At least I went with e5. Okay, Tau against Damjanovic. Sarajevo, one of my favorite cities in the world. Okay, so we've got 2 rooks, bishop, knight against 2 rooks, bishop, knight. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 5. I mean, instinct is just to take on a4 and just be done. I guess the problem with taking on a4 is that you're not necessarily winning a pawn. Maybe they got rook a8. Also very tempting to just sack the exchange, but it's probably trash. So okay, I should look at this properly. So what else is there to know? There's a loose knight on f4. We have some pressure on this a file, but potentially black does too. There's tension on the knight. But maybe this pawn is overworked. Rook is loose. Rook is loose. Okay, so checks, captures, threats. What checks do we have? We have these checks, which look pretty awful. What about captures? We have this bishop takes or rook takes. That's it. What about threats? What threats do we have in this position? I guess this is a threat potentially on this pawn, but not really. Maybe we could try and bring in the knight, but this doesn't look that good either. So, okay, let's start calculating. So the checks are garbage. What about the captures? If bishop a4, this would be ideal, except we've got rook a8. And how do we handle this? I mean, in fairness, we don't have to try and move the bishop away. Oh, and what if we actually handle this by playing on takes on b5? Because if they take with the bishop, then we can just trade everything, and we've won a pawn. And yeah, a knight seems to be fine in this position. So bishop here, and we take on b5. If they take our rook, we take back, they take back, and then we take on c4, and we have 2 pieces against the rook. And in this position, to be an extra pawn up and have the 2 pieces against rook, I think it looks very, very decent. I feel like the weak pawns mean that the pieces can coordinate well to actually target them. So I think this would be a position where the pieces are definitely favoured. Yeah, this looks very legit. And of course, if they just recapture them, we're just doing great. We just won a pawn. Yeah, let's do it. And takes here. There we go. And now we just do a big trade, and we're just better. Right? There's nothing else to consider. Beautiful. That's what we love to see. Endgame should be easily winning, at least for a world-class player. Yes. Yeah. You need this, otherwise the first move would be a mistake. So, yeah, at first I was a bit concerned, but then later found this bishop b5. Nice. How did people do on this? Rook A, not an issue. We just take on b5. Yeah, very nice. Good job, Faz. Good job, Peter, as well. Good stuff. Yep, exactly. Nothing else than bishop takes a4. Yeah, no, Faz, I'm honestly past the point of, like, you know, caring about the quality of this book. It's you know, it's just like I don't think this one was as bad as some of the others. Like that the first puzzle that I had to do, which was just a fork, like that's unbelievable. But yeah. Okay, let's move to the next one. I love how you guys are just predicting, like, when Axel Smith is going to be lazy and when he's not. Okay, Erling Christensen against Mikhail Tau. Where is Havana, actually? Havana. Cuba. Is it the capital of Cuba? Probably is. Yeah, Havana must be the capital of Cuba. Fair enough. I should probably know that. I feel like probably in terms of geography, like that kind of like area of the world, I'm really, really poor at. Because I didn't do, so I missed out on all of that kind of stuff. Like, you know, like the Cuban Missile Crisis and stuff like that. Like, I have no knowledge of that at all. Yeah, I feel like probably like Europe geography is good, Asian geography is good. That's about it. But yeah, okay. How to play, what to do. So we've got Queen, Rook, Rook, Knight, Bishop against Queen, Rook, Rook, Knight, Bishop. We've got 4, 7 against 5. So we're 2 pawns up. There's a lot of pressure on our king. Quite surprising to see Tau having to defend for once. So yeah, we're 2 pawns up, so shouldn't be too difficult to handle this. What else is there to note in this position? We have pressure on the bishop. This guy is loose. This guy is also loose. And that's about it. I mean, this pawn is very weak. We can take it this way, but bear in mind there is this X-ray. Pressure on G2. If we take, then the rook is loose. Maybe that's useful. I'm just like daydreaming about this idea of Queen A5 to try and come in, but it's not that good, I don't think. So okay, let's do some proper candidates. No checks. Any captures? Yes, we've got Rook C4, we've got Bishop G2. We've got Knight takes, we've got Pawn takes. That's everything. What about threats in this position? Don't see any threats. Maybe like Queen A5 threatening to trade and then try and come in somehow. So Queen A5 maybe. So okay, what is the opponent actually trying to do to us? I guess taking here looks a little bit uncomfortable. Doesn't look like the end of the world. I mean, this is potential, but it's quite a slow plan. But maybe it's strong. So, okay, let's go through one by one. What if we just take this pawn? So we're 3 pawns up. Are we not just completely chilling? Like, literally, we're gonna win this pawn next. Like, how can this not just be winning? Unless he's got some, like, crazy sack. I mean, like, maybe like, rook takes. Yeah, maybe that's a bit annoying. I have no idea. Okay, so this looks unclear. Let's just leave it there. What about the other captures? We got rook takes c4. We win a bishop, so we have to take back. I don't know. To be honest, it looks good. It looks good. Like, just sack the rook and then just take on f5. Although I could do that the other way around. If the rook takes Venom, then it's not that big a deal. I don't know. It's definitely not. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's so good. What about this knight e5? Queen takes and then takes here. Now they can't sack, but I have lost a piece for 2 pawns. So I've got 4 pawns for the piece. Am I regaining any material? Not really. Are there any other captures? Bishop g2 doesn't really help, right? And we didn't have any threats in this position, so we're just moveless. I mean, queen a5 was my one threat. I don't know if it's actually any good. Like, what if they go f6? And we go here. And they take, we take, king h2. Do they just slowly bring this in and checkmate us? The exchange sack is looking more and more tempting. But still they can do this. I don't know. This one's not making too much sense to me. I mean, it could be this. It really could. Queen takes. And just take here. And let's say the queen just goes back. Are we happy? I am running out of time as well. It's not good. I don't even know what I'm going to decide to play. Am I going to sack the exchange? Also doesn't feel completely clear. But okay, I can sack the exchange and then take on e6. Like, should be good. Take on f5. Should be good. Should be good. I think we're going to do it. Okay, so what's correct? My idea was to take on f5. I'm threatening this pawn. If they play this move, rook takes f5. Then I'm not able to win the pawn, but I want to. God, I wonder if I can play this ugly move like f6. That's super ugly. But it might be playable. Because they can't take without allowing this, but then they could push f7. Looks extremely risky somehow for me. What's the simpler way I can get this? Oh, probably just bishop here. And next move I can take with the rook to defend the bishop if need be. Yeah, let's take this. There we go. Black wins the pawns on e5 and d6. Okay, let's see if it's the way I said. So rook f5 is bishop... Oh yeah, bishop e4 top move. Let's go. Beautiful stuff. Again, a really weird puzzle. But, I mean, okay, at least we found the top line. ef5 is bad. Oh, not because of rook takes f5, which then would transpose, actually. If rook f5, then I can sack. Otherwise, it's good. But apparently they can sack on f7. What is this? King f7, queen b3. Oh dear. Yeah, that was not on my radar. Did anyone see this? Queen b3? What are people saying? Yeah, there's definitely no Cuban Missile Crisis in geography. But I guess you might learn about Cuba for other reasons. Yeah, exactly. MEDC, LEDCs. Fair enough. Crazy that Frizz saw this bishop f7, king f7, queen b3. Typoed queen b4 instead of queen b3. Peter says, is bishop f7, queen b3 actually that good? We're giving up the exchange anyway. That's a good point. That's a good point. Oh, okay, and that's kind of the assessment, right? It's also strong, but losing the f-pawn is totally unnecessary. So I guess compared to just sacking on c4. Let me get this. Yeah, this looks like a lot more stable position, like the king's safety, with rook e5 coming next. Very nice. Okay, we've got 10 minutes to go. Let's do another. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just more loose, Peter. Yeah, let's do another one. Okay, wow, we've actually got text this time. Tau against Gligorich. White is an exchange up for a pawn. Let's actually verify that because we can't trust Axel Smith. Queen, 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 rook, rook, bishop, queen, rook, knight, bishop. So we've got an exchange for 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So black's actually got a pawn for the pawn and knight for the rook. Yeah, exchange up for a pawn. Okay. If he has to start retreating his pieces, black will have sufficient counterplay. For that reason, forceful action is called for, taking advantage of the unprotected rook on A8. Why do we get this hint? Like, why do we suddenly get this hint and then for the other ones we don't? It makes no sense. Okay, so, yeah, we're getting a clue of that weakened rook on A8 for some reason. Didn't consent to having this clue. So, okay. What other loose pieces are there? We've got a loose rook on B1. Queen is being attacked on d7. The rook is loose on a8. Queen is loose on e5. Okay, so let's think of some ideas. Do we have anything else to note? There is some X-ray pressure on the king. We have pressure on this pawn. Our king is not in that big trouble. We do have an escape. So, okay, what checks do we have? We have rook takes, we have queen takes. We've got all these checks which look terrible. Okay, what captures do we have? We can capture here, we can capture here, capture here, capture here. What about threats? Well, we can attack the loose rook. Maybe we could displace the queen and then use one of these squares, but again, our queen is being attacked. So let's start with the checks actually. If we go rook g7, if they move the king, we go check and then mate. So rook g7 forces bishop takes. But maybe we've got this idea to somehow get this rook at the end, right? Somehow. If they take back with the bishop and we take with the bishop, they cannot take with the queen because of this check. And then we win the rook. If rook takes and we take with the bishop and we take with the bishop, if they take here... I was hoping we'd win the queen, but then they take here and we're actually down. So rook g7, bishop g7. How do we make this work? Oh yeah, let's try something different. What about bishop takes g7? If they take my queen, I take their queen with discovered check. We're not really exploiting the rook on a8. But we're an exchange up, so why is this not, like, good? I guess maybe they can take with the bishop. But then here we could take here, and then if queen takes, then check, and then we pick up the rook. So maybe it is bishop takes. Right? I think that's actually just winning. Yeah, that must be it. I think I'm happy. Okay, so the point is we can give this check and then pick up the rook. Okay, very nice. Wow. Tal messed up and fell for a stalemate trick at the end, so it was a draw. But white was better. Okay, good stuff. Let's see how people did. 3 hours of tactics on the train, that's crazy for us. I could never. Is bishop f7, you mean bishop g7, right? Probably some autocorrect. Bishop g7, rook g7, queen g7, queen d5. Peter found it instantly. Haven't even looked at the puzzle properly and the solution's already there. Good stuff, Peter. Yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to be solving these that quickly, but luckily for classical games, you don't get any extra points for spotting them quickly. Unless, it's a time scramble, then you probably would. But I feel like my time management's pretty goated in classical right now, so should be fine. Okay, Portish against Hal. We've got 5 more minutes. Probably this is the final one. Hopefully. I actually hate doing this so much, but I know it's good for me, so. Okay. Portage to win, let's go. There's King's Indian, where the center's completely locked. Knights are both on the edge of the board. Doesn't look so nice. Oh, can we not just like win the knight with b6? Because we threatened to win the knight, and if queen takes, then we can just go queen c3. I mean, our knight looks so ugly there. Looks really good. Because also, like, queen c3 stuff, now they can take and then reveal the rook, right? So b6, like, deals with that. And how on earth do they not lose the knight? I think we just got it. Crazy. Did I beat anyone to this one? Yeah, Fast as I hope it isn't b6. Yeah, of course it is. Just to remind you guys, you got to go back on that stream where, like, an intermediate tower exercise was bishop c1. Bishop c1, the most unbelievably difficult attacking move. And then we got b6. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Axel Smith. Okay, well, we can do another one because that one was a piss take. Okay, so we've got rook and bishop and pawn for rook, bishop, knight. What ideas do we have here? I kind of want to promote. Also, the knight is hanging. What is this position? How to win. We have opposite colored bishops. So okay, why can't we just take this knight? Is it just not winning? Maybe it's not winning. So, okay, what candidates do we have? We should look for also any X-rays, any additional pressures. I mean, this is like really big. We got some checks, got some captures. This guy's loose, also loose. King is a bit exposed, but should be fine. So, okay. We got one check. Got one capture. Got two captures. C7 is a big threat. So yeah, why can't we just go c7 actually? If they go rook here, then we just bring the rook down. Although that might not be winning, because they've got like knight b6 or knight d6. But maybe we can somehow finesse. I don't know, c7, rook c8, and then take the knight or something. I don't know. Also, rook c5, I guess, is a candidate to try and win something here. Okay, let me go one by one. So let's start with the check. Check on f5. Does this achieve anything at all? Just king e7 probably. Looks fine. Looks fine for black, and I feel like the king is even coming to help deal with his pawn. Bishop c4. Okay, we capture, but maybe they can just hold the pawn somehow. Like rook c8. I mean, we defend the pawn, and we have a okay position, but maybe it's difficult to make progress. It looks really good, but maybe this king is just coming back or something. Like, I'm not, you know, feeling like it's completely winning. So c7, if they were to go for the counterattack, well, they can't, because I just take it. I didn't even see that at first. I mean, originally I was thinking like I can kind of run this way, but No, they can't. So c7, that forces... Well, they can throw in a check. Does the check do anything? Probably not. So, I mean, we're still hitting that rook. I mean, maybe this is possible. Maybe this is something to consider. But I still have the problem of rook c8. Oh wait, does actually just win. Rook b8 and either knight d6 or knight b6, we just take it. And after knight takes back, then we just got bishop e6. No, because we're a piece down in the starting position. So it's not enough just to be able to win the piece. Wait, can I change the move order? c7, rook c8, rook b8, and then whichever knight move, I play bishop e6 first. That looks good. So what if they play like bishop e5 or something? But then I can take the rook with my bishop. Right? Although they can take here, and is my rook trapped? The hell is this line? I mean, I can at the very least play like rook b7, and I think like I've got an exchange, like a rook for a knight in the ascend game, which is very good for me. So I think that's probably it, right? c7, rook here, and then wherever the knight goes, I just go bishop e6. So then, okay, c7, let's just double check this line with knight check. Go king e2. The only check they have is rook e8, and then I come here. Then they can take the bishop. And I guess I could take this bishop, and is the knight trapped? Not quite trapped. It's got like knight c1. But then I could play rook b8. And then we're doing very well. So I believe that's winning. Okay, yeah, c7 wins. That took me quite a while. Oh, hello. Did not consider that. Ah, Michael. I mean, to be fair, at least, like, you know, I've kind of gained this move. It can't be that bad. And also, rook b8, like, surely is fine. So rook b8, how do I actually win this? Like, if they bring the knight back again. Probably, again, this bishop e6. If rook takes, I promote. Knight takes, rook takes, and then I win this bishop. That's not a winning endgame. For anyone who hasn't seen it, rook e1 is the point. So rook here, let's say knight b6. Oh, to be fair, I could try this move. Bishop a4. If they take my bishop, I take their rook and then promote. If they go rook c8, then maybe I've even got bishop d7. I think that could be it. Rook b8 and then bishop a4 is the follow-up. That's probably it. This really feels right. I can't see a good move for them. Yeah, and bishop d7 was my idea. But wait, bishop d7, they take, I take with check, they move. Am I definitely queening? Surely, right? At the very least, I can play rook d8, and even if they play knight b6, I promote, they take, I take, and I'm up in exchange. So bishop d7 should win. Very nice. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Wow, so 1c7, c7 would have been bad if not for this bishop a4, bishop d7 maneuver. Who managed to find this? Looks like, I think some of you found the critical line. Aha, yeah, so Peter found the c7 rook e8, so good job for spotting that. Rook b8, knight b6, bishop a4, yeah. Good job, Faz. Rook c8, bishop d7 from Peter. Lovely. Fritz says my eyes are closing in fatigue. I completely get it. And we have finished our training for today, so I'm happy about that. I'm watching an absolutely goated anime right now, which I will continue to watch after the stream ends. It's called Bocce the Rock. It's about like rock music, and this like girl who plays guitar. It's really funny. I think it's really good. So you know, if you guys need something to check out. Michael calculating illegal moves. When did I do that? I don't remember. c7, knight d2, king e2, rook e8, king d3, bishop e5. What is this? Okay, let me see. I mean, it's not even mentioned, which is classic. But like, c7 and this line, right? I was saying king e2. And then this check, king d3. I mean, I was looking at this. And then I was like, king c3 is good enough because the knight is like in trouble. I don't see anything illegal about this. Rook b8, and then I'm winning. Yeah, I don't. So what is Peter saying? Like king e2, rook e8, king d3, bishop e5 isn't clear. I don't think bishop e5. The hell is that? I mean, bishop e5, my instinct is just to take it. Oh, sorry, bishop e5, not bishop d4. Okay. Okay, fair enough. And without checking the engine... I mean, I guess I can play rook takes, right? And then promote. I don't know if this was missed. Yeah, sorry, bishop e5 allows rook takes e5. Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're calculating after rook e8, rook... Wait, what? Okay. c7, rook e8. I was calculating rook b8, knight b6. Oh, was I calculating bishop e6 wasn't enough because of rook e6? Aha, I don't even remember. But I do remember saying bishop a4 eventually. So, that's good enough. And on that note, ladies and gents, I am going to call it a day. But glad we could get the training in. I will try in general to get this done sooner. But no, life is pretty good. Chess is pretty good. And yeah, we'll just keep training. I have a lot of chess coming up in the next month or two. So hopefully, yeah, some good experience to be had. And hopefully we keep up the strong form. So thank you for tuning in as always. Good to see a lot of familiar faces here. Also, welcome Pat Matic Chess, because I don't think I've seen you here before. To answer your question, are all the puzzles tower games? No, like this Woodpecker method just takes like the world champions and goes in order, chronological order, and just picks out some useful positions from which to calculate. But, you know, a lot of the puzzles are kind of garbage as well, but they're still good calculation practice. Okay, good stuff, guys. See you on Monday for some more training. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, see you. Bye.